Midterm Debriefing, the Capstone Project by Yadira, Spring 2015. In the following midterm debriefing, I will answer the 5 questions posted on the discussion board. Question number 1. What is the ultimate goal of the project within the time frame of this course? Tell the class what you plan to accomplish by the submission due date. By the end of the semester, my goal is to have a well-rounded project that demonstrates my skills and meets the objectives set. The objectives that I set were to have the project completed and that every goal is accomplished by each one of the learners. As I have analyzed my learners and I have analyzed the objectives that I have set for them, I'm also in the process of creating assessments that will let me know if the objectives were met. It would also tell me if the skills that I put out there using the modules were learned by the learners. Following, I will show you the website that I have created. It is a website that I have used before, Weebly.com. It is a simple Web 2.0 application, well, not simple, that allows you to record and create your own professional website. As you see on the top tabs, there is a home page, which you're seeing right now. It has a simple tax services. I put a little logo. It also has a tab that connects you directly to the login, where the learner will log in to practice their skills. On the top, you also find the proposal. The proposal you'll find a paper that shows the proposal project revised after the professor sent it back to me. Next, you'll have the design document, which has the goal analysis, the learner analysis, the context analysis, the subordinate skills analysis, the performance objectives, the assessment instruments, the instructional strategies, instructional solution, formative evaluation, and summative evaluation. The pages have been created and they're ready, or it's work in progress, but they are ready to start adding the consequent pieces to the design document. I want to say that my design document is not complete, but it is a work in progress. This instructional solution, of course, will be the modules. Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, 4, and 5. Each module has everything set in place, ready to add the information. As you see here, I have Module 1, a short summary or description of what will be found in each one of the modules, the terminal objective, the activities, and I have a Volky here. It's a Web 2.0 that you can play.
Welcome to our first instructional module. You will learn how to log in using your assigned username and password. Do not forget to take quiz before moving on to second module. Thank you and enjoy.
Every module will have an introduction using a Volky, which makes the lessons more interactive, where the learner will be listening as well as to reading and watching material. In this space up here, you will find the YouTube video that I will create, and below this there is a place for embedding the quizzes that I will be using to test if the learners acquired the skills that were meant to be set in every one of the modules. For the quizzes, I will be using Quizlet, which is an application where you can create quizzes and follow afterwards to see if the learners did learn the materials or not. So for the instruction solution, going back to that, there's 5 modules: Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, 4, and 5. At the end, you will have the tab for lesson learned, which is just a page, a blank page right now. And we'll have the final assessments to see with the volunteers that I have to see if the skills were met or not, or the skills were acquired after completing the 5 modules. Going back to the questions that were to be answered. Question number 2, what does the instructional solution look like now? Is it taking shape? What does your end product look like at this point? Well, as you saw, it's not an end product yet because it is a work in progress. The instructional solution is built using Weebly.com and other web.2 tools such as Screenomatic, YouTube, and Voki. Those are just some of the ones that I'm using. I didn't write down the one that I'm using for the assessments. I'm still debating of using Google Docs or using the Quizlet. My end product is halfway there and should look better as I add videos and interactive elements that allow the learner to stay focused and connected. Not all learners are visual learners. They also need the audio. That's why I'm including the videos. And of course, I'm including the quizzes to make sure that there is a way to measure if the skills are attained or not at the end of the module or lesson. Next question. What lessons have you learned? There are many lessons that I've learned, and as you know, as students, every class that you take, new lessons are learned. First of all, time management is essential. It is hard to manage our time with the busy lives that we have. And as you see, when you have a family, you have a job, and you're going to school, the best time to work is late at night when there are fewer interruptions. So I try to get as much done with the time that I have. And as Professor Sam Pam had mentioned, it is essential for us to allocate some time and give it 110%. And sometimes, like you said, we need to make sure that we're using our resources wisely. Another lesson that I have learned is that working with the learners helps create a better instructional solution. As you get to know your learners better, the instructional solution gets better because you know what skills they have and what skills are lacking. Also, the design document comes into place because with all the analysis that you've created and all the variables that you find, you know how to create a better lesson that will meet all the objectives that were set at the beginning. Lesson number 3, I have learned that for every plan, you need to have an alternative plan or a plan B because it may not occur as you planned and you would have to have an alternative method. As with technology has a lot of flaws. As it makes our lives easier, it sometimes also creates headaches for us. Another lesson that I learned, and I heard other classmates mentioning this, is not to create a new project attempting to learn a new Web.2 technology because you will be constrained by time, of course. It's easier to use something that you already know and that are familiar with. For example, me, I am very familiar with Weebly, so it is easier for me to create a Weebly web page than trying to learn something totally new. And yes, I saw that some of my classmates are using awesome technologies that I would like to learn in the future. But right now would not be a good time because I would fall even further behind in my schedule. And the last lesson is to allocate your resources wisely. If time is a constraint, we need to make sure that we are allocating those resources that are scarce. For example, money. Money would be one of the resources that would be scarce in real life. So we would need to learn how to allocate those resources wisely. Okay, question number 4. What is the chance of finishing the product by the deadline? I think that the project should be completed by the deadline. I know there is a lot of work to be done, but it is very possible. As I said before, I'm allocating my time and dedicating most of the time that I have free to work on my assignments and my projects. Uh, and as I hope everything will work out fine. Storyboards and scripts are very much needed to avoid using time and recording errors, especially for the video that I'm creating for the class modules. I know that sometimes you think you can do it in the first recording, which I attempted today doing this, but using a script is much easier than recording 10 times. Again, time comes into place, which is a resource. It has to be allocated wisely in order for us to be successful and create a project that we are proud of and that is worth taking out there for others to learn from. And the fifth question, is there any concern or issue that may interest the class as a whole? I just want to say that as an instructional designer, you must know the subject that you are teaching, or you must have the input from an expert in the subject in order to ensure that what you're teaching is taught correctly and that the message and the lesson is being created and will be used wisely in the future. If you create a lesson that has no reliability or it's not true, there's no way, you just wasted a bunch of resources because there's no use for it. Timelines should be modified to meet deadlines. It is okay. I learned, and I have learned from past experiences, that timelines can be changed, and you need to make sure that you are following timelines in a way or another in order to make sure that all your deadlines are met. Also, as one of my classmates mentioned, you need to be ready for any changes in technology. Something that is working today will not ensure that it will be working tomorrow. So always have a plan B. It's not only for the class, but for everything that we do. I hope you all have a great rest of the semester and that we all have a successful end. I know that all of us are close to graduation, and hopefully everything will come out as we planned and the lessons learned will be for a lifetime. Thank you.